Hello everyone and welcome to episode 35 of Beth the Chef. Now, before we begin, I'm going to show you a little something because last weekend, I went to see a show at Winter Gardens and I don't know who out there are Strictly fans, but Diane and Vito from Strictly had their own show and it was really good. I don't usually buy merchandise, but I saw this and I had to get it and I thought I'm going to wear it for the video. £20, totally worth it. Diane and Vito, don't know if you can see that. Red Hot and Ready Kitchen Apron. £30 for two of them. Very tempting, but I only bought one. Yeah, because I love the show so much. Fingers crossed and toes crossed, because I know it can be quite rare to get, that I can get some free tickets to the Blackpool Tower when it's Blackpool week, because yeah, last year they had Pet Shop Boys and it looked amazing on telly and I really wanted to be there and I couldn't get any tickets. So hope and prayers for me. But anyway, continuing from last week with our little street food legacy, if we call it that. This week we're going to combine a couple street food small plates and I'm going to do some spiced lamb and potato croquettes, along with some Padron peppers, which is actually a bit of a new discovery for me, but I love them. Hope you do too. And to bring these two together, I'm going to make a nice fresh Salsa Verde. A little bit of bite and liquid element, wetness to the dish. So yeah, a fair bit to crack on with. I'll talk to you a little bit about Padron peppers as well. And let's crack on. Right, so the first stage, the croquettes, is going to get our mash on, because the plan is to do mashed potato and I've got some lamb mince and I'm just going to season it the same way I would with roast potatoes. Just plenty of garlic, plenty of rosemary and plenty of thyme. I've got 3 potatoes, just medium-sized potatoes. And yeah, just roughly dice them. And we're just going to make a dry mash. Give yourself a couple hours for the cooling time of this, because you'll see later. So my potatoes are boiling away nicely. And in the meantime, I've got everything ready for the lamb. Because I'm going to mix everything through and then cook it off. So our mixing bowl, and I'm going to add the lamb. In here is just over 200 grams of lamb mince. And save the rest for another time if you've bought a bigger bulk, or make lamb meatballs, lamb burgers, who knows. The world is your lamb. I finely diced 1 onion, which will go straight in. Finely diced 2 garlic cloves. And then for our spices, got my little pot here. Do like a spice pot. Now in here is a teaspoon of mixed spice, because lamb can take a lot of that. I've got about half a teaspoon of salt and half the teaspoon each of dried rosemary and dried thyme, because they're quite strong flavours. Got cracked black pepper, but this is going to go on at the end, basically before we start shaping our moulds when it's all cooked off. Simply because I don't want to add the black pepper now and cook it, because therefore the black pepper will start to burn a little and we don't want that. We straighten our bowl. Put your hands in there. And just make sure it's all incorporated well. Now for the lamb, bit of oil in there. And then we go. Now the main thing is to make sure it's just browned off nicely. Because spoiler alert, since this is all moulded and everything, it's gonna get paneed and fried off again. Smash it up. What you need as well, by the way, is a flat tray. This is just going to help cool your mix quickly, more efficiently and safely as well. This is what I've been doing, you know, in hotel work and where I work now. It's just a safe way to do it and limits, well, all bacteria growth really. So the lamb's cooked off and I'm going to go straight in. Now the fat from this is going to help shaping them, but not too much liquid to, you know, disintegrate or anything. I think it's mixed in well. I flatten out onto the tray. And do this process with rice as well, or especially rice, because rice is actually one of the most riskiest of foods really, especially when reheating. So when it's all flattened out, using your spatula, crosshatch. And don't put it in the fridge because obviously it's still hot. Just leave to one side. The mix is all cooled down now, and I'm just going to add the remaining flavours. So in here, again to help bind it as well as taste, is 25 grams of grated Parmesan. I'll just use the microplane on that. And it's where our trusty pepper comes in as well. I'm just going to add the Parmesan. Just mix it all together with your hands. Turn us to the pepper. Now, even though this is going to go in the fire, that's not going to burn the pepper now. But yeah, if you were to cook the black pepper twice, it would. And just get a nice bit. Roll it up. And then you can roll with your hands. Once it's chunky log shape. Just push the ends with your fingers. And you're looking for that kind of shape. Now I've gathered up everything towards the Salsa Verde. And if you are wondering, Salsa Verde just translates to a green salsa. So in a way, as long as it's green, you can put whatever herbs in there. It's usually always capers in there though. And a bit of mustard. So yeah, just feel free to experiment. But for the quantities for this recipe, I've got 40 grams of capers, and they're drained but not thoroughly drained because we still need to keep a bit of that vinegar in there. I've got some oil and probably going to add about 50 mils. I'll go by eye, but you should see the consistency that you want. Later on, we're going to add a teaspoon of Dijon mustard, which helps brings it together. And usually a bit of garlic, but I find it for the strong flavours of the croquettes and what we're going for, raw garlic might be just a little bit too much to this dish. However, in terms of the herbs, there's about 15 grams of coriander leaves here and just over 10 grams of mint leaves. And it's quite simple really, you're just going to finely chop everything up, make sure your knife is sharp so you don't bruise the board as much, well, bruise the herbs on the board. And yeah, those capers, keep that liquid in there, mix everything up and to essentially be a nice dressing. So Padron peppers, they are Spanish from a place in Spain called Padron, you know, and they're just very nice peppers. I've got one here. So they're quite small and green. Well, they start off green and then as they ripen up, they go red. But a lot of people eat them in their green stage. Yeah, they hit the Scoville scale between 500 and 2,500 units. So they're not like really hot, but they still have a bite to them. And they're quite simply just sort of char grilled really in a bit of oil and some salt, Madron salt. People usually leave the stalks on and then they can just hold on to the stalk while biting it. Right, so I've got my little pane station ready, and I'm just going to turn the fryer on. We'll pop it on about 150 degrees, I reckon. Lovely. So while it's heating up, we can pan it. Now I've just got the usual, there's about 50 grams of plain flour and the panko. 2 eggs in here, but for a bit more flavour to my flour, just gonna there we go. Sprinkle in a tablespoon of onion powder. And if it has come out in lumps and in the egg, don't worry because it's all going to fizzle out in the fryer. It all comes together in the end. Lovely. So you know the drill with pane station: flour, eggs and breadcrumbs. Don't know if you heard that. bird outside. Believe it or not, there is a bit of wildlife in Blackpool. I've paned all my croquettes. Fry has reached its temperature, 150. And while these are frying, I've kept my pan which I cooked the lamb in, because this will add more flavour, and I'm going to get the pan hot for the Padron peppers. Let's get my tongs ready. And pop a little bit of oil in there. So I'm not going to pop all these croquettes in because that'd be a bit mad. I'd say we can get rid of 5 in there. We'll give it a good shake and keep an eye on them. And everything's cooked off. So you just want really the coating to be nice and brown, and just to make sure it's warm in the middle. So keep an eye on it, yeah. Only takes several minutes, but you know what you're looking for. And also when the pan is nice and hot, I can smell that lamb already. Chop your peppers. I've gone for 10 in there, because 2 people are eating it. And that's what you're looking for, the skin to get nice and blistered. Just going to get a board ready to pop everything on there. And then we can get going with the plating. I don't know if you can see that. Starting to blister up nicely. And that's what gives the peppers their lovely flavour. That's the kind of thing you're looking for. And in a minute we're going to finish it off with some fresh sea salt flakes. That creates the bite that you want. So now I'm ready to plate up. So I'm just going to get 4 of the croquettes. Line them down on the plate. Getting 5 of the Padron peppers. finish with some salt. A nice little dollop, shall we say, the Salsa Verde. Have it. Herby lamb croquettes, a little bit of spice, charred Padron peppers and Salsa Verde to bring the two together. So spread the word, Beth the chef. Join us next week where we're going to do some, wait for it, fully loaded pulled pork, 24-hour slow cooked pulled pork, sweet potato fries. Yeah, bon appetit.